It's live on KEXP. I'm your host, DJ Kevin Cole from listener-powered independent 90.3 FM in Seattle, 92.7 in the Bay Area, and streaming 24/7 online at kexp.org and via our free mobile apps. We are a non-profit arts organization, and these live performances are made possible by donations from listeners and viewers just like you. Thanks to those of you who donate. And so happy to be joined in the studio today by Font. Welcome. It's great having you here. We'll talk about the new album, the debut album, Strange Burden, but how about a set of music first? Cool.
This way
It is Font live on KEXP. It is Font live on KEXP. That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So just heard Sentence 1 from the new debut album, Strange Burden, Signal Drama. Right before that, an unreleased song. Thom, is that new, or has it been hanging out a while? And
It's. I think it's pretty much our newest addition to the set. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been working on it for a few months, but.
Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing that with listeners.
Yeah, of course.
Love that. The Golden Calf and Natalie song starting out that set. Man, just love the debut album so much. I guess before we get into that, Thom, do you mind introducing the band?
Sorry, one more time.
Do you mind introducing the band?
Oh, yeah. Jack Owens on drums. Anthony Laurence on guitar and gadgets, and Roman Parnell on bass, and Logan Wagner on percussion.
Welcome to KEXP. It's great having you. The new album is absolutely fantastic. Strange Burden, kind of all over the place musically, and want to talk about that. But how do you feel about the album?
We feel really good about it, I think. We're really excited about it. I mean, it's, we've been playing, for a couple years, and these were kind of the songs that we felt kind of made it across the finish line. I mean, it feels kind of to us, I think, like a kind of a document of those 2 years rather than, a record that we set out to build track by track. I think we think of it as kind of a representation of what these first 2 years of playing together has kind of brought about.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the case, if it felt more like, just sort of a snapshot of an era. These songs will continue to evolve if you choose to do that with them.
Yeah, I think that's the mentality.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, again, musically, it's all over the place, and I'm wondering, you've got such a unique sound. There's a raw edginess to it, but there's also like a hypnotic component. You rock, but also incredible vibe and groove that you can. It's kind of irresistible. You dance to it, but at the same time, you think. So what's the creative process? It's a lot. So what's the creative process for these songs? How do they come about?
I might defer to the drummers.
Yeah, I think it's very much a case-by-case basis, but something that I'd say the majority of, like 100% of practices that we have that might land in a song start with Logan and I making noise for a minute, and then we might take pieces of that later. We'll do like long jam sessions that we can comb back through and find like little moments or grooves that we've been attached to. There's a few songs on the record that were started just a drum beat that we really fell in love with, and then just kind of piecemealed from there. It's all definitely very like collaborative, but I think rhythm driven.
Do you record everything when you're rehearsing and practicing? And
we try to, yeah.
And then go back and pick out parts that you feel worked?
Yeah.
I'd read somewhere you described being sort of inspired by the Brian Eno, David Byrne approach to writing. Can you tell me more about that?
For Remain in Light, the rhythm section would go into the studio and they would record kind of hours of loops and stuff like that, and then or just from what I read, Eno and Byrne would kind of go back and sort of build, use kind of parts of that as kind of building blocks, and then add, all of the kind of harmonic and melodic content after that. And there were definitely a few songs on the record that where we kind of tried to use that process. It's definitely something that feels pretty natural to us. I think that I don't know. I mean, I think I think a big part of our process, it involves kind of responding, you know what I mean? Like Jack and Logan are responding to one another when they're coming up with something, and then Anthony and Roman and I think, are stimulated a lot by being able to respond to rhythms, that already exist, and I know that I, as like a lyricist, can get a lot out of not necessarily having control over the song from the beginning, but rather kind of being able to react to something. And so I think it's kind of this ecosystem that we're trying to build of being able to respond kind of engage instinct in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's like five easily bored people who are trying to like keep one another disrupted and interested
and engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works, man. It works from a listening experience because you don't know what's coming next. It's really exciting. And seeing you live is the same thing. I had the same experience. It's an interesting approach lyrically. So I'm guessing then, Thom, you don't have lyrics written out in advance, and you're not necessarily trying to tell a story.
Yeah, it's always kind of coming with the whatever I feel like the song needs, like vocally. And so, yeah, so I'll just, there's always like a piece of music to begin with, and then I'll kind of hit record in my and at my home studio, my desk, and and kind of like dance around and kind of yelp and sing and record. And if I find a part that I like, then I'll kind of start to fill in words and phrases kind of based on what I feel like the song needs kind of sonically. And, it's like influenced by whatever I'm thinking about or reading. But I definitely try not to have like a point or a story or a message or anything like that.
It's a cool way to work. I read this really interesting piece on St. Vincent recently, and she was talking about her collaboration with David Byrne and how it freaked her out at first because she always approached songs lyrically and then would let the melodies come. And apparently he would send her tapes where he was just going off a rhythm and making up words that didn't make any sense at all, right? Like even not words, just sounds. And then would figure out the lyrics later. But came up with the structure of the song and even the melody ultimately before any lyrics showed up.
Yeah, I really believe that lyrics and music are more an aperture through which something else passes rather than the kind of, vessel for the meaning of the song or whatever. So I'm trying to let the song pass through whatever I'm writing and not kind of take up too much like meaning space, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. It seems like just one of many different ways to approach songwriting, right? Yeah. Like if you're a narrative singer-songwriter, you probably like have a story to tell, right? But what's cool and what I love about Font and this approach is, man, there's these cool fragments that get you to just sort of think in a non-linear way where you suddenly capture a phrase and you're just like taken off in your mind on, wow, I don't know, it just triggers like memories, thoughts, feelings.
I'm glad. Yeah, that's where they come from. So
while you're dancing. So I would imagine then for a group like this that the unique combination of personalities is really important. And I think, for a lot of viewers, you're going to be relatively new. So I'd love to get a little bit of a history because Thom and Jack, I know you guys knew each other before. And when you were in college in North Carolina, Thom, you eventually moved to Austin, I think, to get back into music.
Yeah, to move closer to home, and it just felt like the place to go, and yeah.
And how did these pieces then come together, and how did you form a band, and did you have a thought in mind of what you would sound like, or did it just end up like evolving as each member came on board, and that's what you sound like?
Definitely the second one. Yeah, Jack and I started writing the stuff in our living room. He moved down about a year after, or about 6 months after I moved down, and then I met Anthony pretty early on before he moved down, and he joined the band, in that first year, and then y'all want to. Want to talk about
yeah, Roman and I have been playing in bands together all through college and stuff. So
I think it's been like 8 years now.
He was a pretty quick call, I think, and he fit in perfect.
And then Logan.
I don't have any memories pre-meeting them. It was a black screen, and then I woke up and they were in front of me. And then no, I wandered over to a venue that they were putting on a show at, and then kind of just was mind blown at how much I liked their taste. And then wiggled my way in.
That feeling was mutual. Yeah.
So, some things have been made already of the fact that you have very little digital presence, which I love. Tell me, is there kind of a philosophy behind it? And by digital presence, I mean like social media.
A fear to post anything on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like an anxiety to like define a visual language or component. I think we get in our heads about the music enough that adding that visual component is oftentimes scary and takes a while. So,
And it's distracting.
Yeah.
and it's also like everything we do post about. So it's not like, we're not just in your face all the time.
Yeah, it was also, the first 2 years of our existence were just playing live and honing that. And, we would, like make show posters every once in a while, but it not releasing, I feel like releasing music is kind of the main reason to develop a kind of a visual aesthetic or like an online aesthetic or whatever. And we were just playing live. We just weren't recording. It definitely wasn't intentional, but I don't know. Yeah, it was just the emphasis was always on the shows that we were playing. And yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do, and time and energy put into developing a brand distracts from the music probably.
I've been developing a lot of TikTok dances, but we just haven't posted that gallery yet.
Yeah, I bet they would be really popular, actually. So, you talk about just focusing on the music in the last couple of years since you formed, which I think was early 2022, maybe end of 2021. What has been the most surprising or rewarding aspect in the journey so far?
Playing KEXP, maybe.
We
no,
appreciate
seriously.
that. Thank you. Something else.
But that's a good question.
I think having to exist around each other and continually like run checks and balances on one another is like it's a special like familial ecosystem that we're having to find our footing in.
Yeah, that's been a beautiful thing for sure. I think with the music being so collaborative, we as a group are, kind of challenged and rewarded by the kind of continual growth of like the personal ecosystem of the band. And that's been really great. There's been, we just finished a tour with Yard Act. It was really fun. And amazing, and not something we expected we would do this year. And like, there have been, I think, countless like external things, tours, and doing this and stuff that have been really surprising and wonderful. But yeah, I think I would say that the main thing has been kind of just the growth of our little band family thing.
Yeah.
The connections that you've made as a band and the experiences collectively that you've had.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You can't make those up.
Yeah.
The album Strange Burden is a beautiful thing. I'm excited for what's next for Font, and really appreciate you taking time and playing for KEXP today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, you bet. And it's Font live on KEXP. Huge thanks to the KEXP crew. Thanks to everybody listening and watching and everybody who donates that makes these sessions possible. And I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get a notification when we launch amazing videos and live performances like this one from Font today. And again, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Kevin Cole, and this is live on KEXP.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.